And little Swifty is our athlete for this round. Now she's taking a baby pig, but she sure can over and pass the water. Now she's working on that. And she gets ready to hop in. So go, Swifty, go, Swifty, go, oh, good job, little Swifty. That was a great little dive. Eating her Oreo cookie. Let's give it up for Swifty. Our swimming kid. That was nuts for a pig in a blankets. Working hard for you guys tonight. That water was great. Good job, little Swifters. All right. Okay, guys, we have one more race. But if you did not do one of our little pig noses and you want to take one home with you tonight, we will be selling them for $2 after the show. We'll have a little poop or a pig keychain for $2. So stop by and see Austin right after the show if you want to swoop in here. We're also going to bring out Honey Boo Boo. Now, this is Swifty's little cousin. If you want to come up and hold that little piglet in your arms and get a picture taken holding her, we'll do it for $5 on the bench at the end of the trailer, and you do use your own photo camera to take the picture. Okay, guys, I need some more cheerleaders from the audience for this next race. Section 1, anybody want to cheer number 1? Okay, we're going to go on this right here. You can cheer number 1 for me. Section 2. Anybody want to cheer number 2? Number okay, you cheer number 2, section 3. Anybody want to? The little guy in the red hat. Okay, and on the front, you cheer number 3. And section 4. Who wants to cheer number 4? Okay. Front row yellow shirt. Yellow polo on the front row. The same one. Alright, who wants to cheer number 4? Anybody? Anywhere. Okay, so if you're in a black skirt and glasses, you cheer number 4. So now, to call your next set of racing pigs on out here, what do you say? Sue! Here come these little cootie pigs ready to shake the bacon down the backstretch. Now, these racers are also little performers, but instead of the guys racing, it's the ugly baby's turn to run. And these are about 6-month-old cootie pigs. We use positive reinforcement when we train the pigs. They get treats when they're on the days. We're from Van, Texas. It's about an hour east of Dallas. So we go all over the country. We go from California to New York. We love it here in Tennessee. It's so beautiful. It's our first year here. We're happy to get the Williamson County. There we have our ladies. Section 1, racing for y'all. The lady one in the boat. Put your hands together for J-Lo. Jennifer Lopez. Section 2, racing for you out of she's been in a lot of commercials lately. Please welcome Sydney Swiney. Section 3, racing for our yellow chair, very young movie 2 years ago. Please welcome Barbie Section 4, racing for here we go. And they're off. It's in a 3 and 4 on the 8. It's 3 and 4. 3 to the inside, 4 to the outside, 2 more coming in last. 4 just took the lead. Come on, number 3. It's 4-3. Kim Kardashian has the lead. 3 trying to make a move. Coming to the finish line. It's going to be number 4. There's been number 4. Cheerleader, come on up here, young lady. Good job cheering on that little Kimmy Pig. And you are taking on some more. He's going to pick your pickings on you. You want to wear it? Can I pick? Yes, give this for him. Perfect. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of the Williamson County Fair, thanks for coming out to the pig races, everybody. Have a great night at the fair, y'all. Bye-bye. Austin has the coaches and keychains for $2. And if you have a friend to do, you do a picture for $5. Also, we have one more show at 8 o'clock tonight. If you got here a little late, and on that page, $100.
set and square to where she looks the best. I think genuinely throughout the whole time in the ring, she kind of sets the bar there pretty high. It gets a little closer between 2 and 3 out here for me, and I think both of these ladies, congratulations, do an exceptional job. What ends up splitting hairs for me tonight with them out here is when we set them into motion, the young lady that's going to go to, I think is a little more comfortable there on the lead. She's also a little more comfortable in terms of getting that front 1/3 set square and where we need it on that dough to get her to look her best out here. I think a really nice job in terms of body angles and motion, and as well as spacing, as we mentioned with the young lady that wins. Nothing to take away from the young lady here in third. I love her eye contact. I think you do an exceptional job of knowing where your peers are in the ring to where that dough is at, and that is so important. Do a nice job in terms of just that lax rib back with this dough in particular, and showing off the strength that she has there. There's ever so many times though she wants to get a little coupled up front with you. You're doing a nice job of hanging with it and getting her going, and I commend you for that. Just little things out here to work on as you continue on through the fairs as we go. Congratulations and an exceptional job. Young lady that's going to come out here next, very similar to the young man that's going to go fight. I really like these individuals have smaller goats out here to show, and they're taller kids, and that makes it difficult. And I think you guys do an exceptional job of still getting a really nice brace on both of these animals out here. There's sometimes though where they want to fight you just a little bit, or want to be a team player, not necessarily your fault tonight whatsoever. You guys have done a good job of controlling that, maintaining it, just to get them set a little quicker in order to bump up into that 3rd place, 2nd place hole tonight out here. Very similar down through here with these young ladies that come in next. I think if we got any younger ones, congratulations ringside watching. I think you guys should really lock into these young ladies in this particular portion of our show. They did an exceptional job in terms of eye contact and placement, knowing when their animal needs to be, maybe just not as quick in terms of getting them set as we watch out here. A couple of times they want to fight us on the lead a little bit. Again, you guys are doing all you can do. I've been there 100 times, but stay calm with it, keep putting the work into it. Watch our hand placement as we brace in terms of getting on up a few lines ahead there into that 4th or 5th place hole. Make sure we're getting that neck and angle right as we go through just some things that you guys can work on. If your goal is to stay fair, some other shows, doing an exceptional class, all the showman. Let's give them another round of applause. Congratulations. Okay, drink a water. I know it's hot.
And our champion, senior level 2 showman, goes to the same corner. 2nd place, Piper Allen. 3rd place, Danica Weaver. 4th place to Logan Alexander. 5th place, John Maynard. 6th place, Sarah Brothers. 7th place, Charlotte Osborne. 8th place, Lauren Davidson. And 9th place to Cadence Chambers. Congratulations to the senior level 2 showmen. We now have our senior level 1, 9th and 10th graders coming into the ring for our showmanship. And our belt buckle was presented by our 2022 Fairest of the Fair.
out here, especially with those dogs wanting to fight and do. But I think she's an easy one for us to land on out here. Congratulations. Young lady that goes into, man, is a powerhouse in terms of when we talk about eye contact and where she's at, in terms of spatial awareness that we talk about with our older group. I think you do an exceptional job in with that. Ever so slightly, there's a few times in terms of where we might want to work to push towards that first place. But that dog just wanting to get a little stretched with you out here. There's a few times too on the lead tonight when we start splitting hairs that she's just wanting to get a little more lackadaisical and wanting to fight there. But I think in terms of composure and handling yourself and working through getting that goat shown, you did an exceptional job. Don't change a thing, okay? Splitting hairs as we go through showmanship out here tonight, but I think you do an outstanding job as well, and good luck to you too as we continue on through the rest of the show here. Young lady that's going to come in third and fourth out here again, I think another exceptional job. I really like in terms of the body placement for the young lady that goes in three that we talked about. She gets a really nice brace in terms of that weather out here, does a nice job of getting him set up and knowing where I am in about 6'3". There's a few times when we compare her to Hugo's there in second, that weather wants to get a little closer in terms of his front feet there, wants to narrow up just a little bit on her, and maybe not have those feet placed exactly square in comparison to the two that run ahead of her. Just some things to work on out here and some really exceptional showmen. Young lady that's going to round out the class again that we talked about, I really like in terms of how she gets this doe race. She's just one that's not wanting to cooperate out here, but doing a nice job of the longer we were out here, that doe started settling in with her and started being on the lead more because you can tell that she's done a lot of work at home and enjoys this as well. Another exceptional job. Let's give them all a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our senior level 1 winner, Haley Lawson. Our second place went to Kaylin Osterhaus. Third place, Charlotte Bishop. Fourth place to Hayden Winchell. We have our junior showmanship class in the ring right now. We actually have the breakdown of the green door over there for the market gun show.
Just a single entry out here in this particular division. We saw the young lady when she came out earlier, there her sister. I think does a really nice job in terms of pace, watching in terms of eye contact out here. Doing a great job for a doe. That's her first show that she tells me, so she'll be getting broke after we're done. Let's give her a round of applause. So really nice in terms of this extracurricular skill set. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our junior winner in showmanship, Miss Annabelle Kitchens. And Williamson County Fair sponsored bell loads for all of our showmanship winners this year. Okay, I believe we are ready for our class 1.
the widest in terms of his loin at this weight. One that I think when we set him in motion probably flexes just a little bit better down at his posture when we set him on the ground. Is he as long body as the young man's there in second? No, and that's where I'd like to change him a little bit. But one that I think just in terms of power over his top dimension, it's one that I think will feed out really nice for that young lady. Young man's whether when we get this guy set, even when we get our hands on him, I think he's got the advantage in terms of length of side and length of hind saddle. For me though, he gets a little narrower right now, right there over his rack. When we let him stout up at the ground just in terms of his footwork. But I love his extension, I love his length of body there, and he goes in two. That'll be a fun one to feed out as well. Young lady's doe that's going to come in third again, one that's really feminine in her features, really angular in terms of how she lays in about her shoulder and her leg. Really like her extension, very similar to the weather there that goes into. For me though, we just need to power her up off both ends, give her a little more punch down to that lower part of her stifle, in terms of moving her up ahead of those weathers. Excellent job, it's a nice job of getting her shown. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations.
We're now ready for class 2. We have Hayden Montek and a lamb's weight 54 and 55 pounds. Congratulations to our class 1 winner, Miss Amy Porter. Second place to John Mayer, and third place to Lauren Jacobson.
Another really nice class here as we get into the middle in terms of that 50-pound range. And I think the young ladies, whether that we start with is one that when you just study them at the ground and a good cycle, comes actually with more dimension, more power. One that when you get your hands on him, it's got more true shape there right over his rack and his loin. Again, like we talked about those lighter weight goats, one that'll be really fun to watch and feed out as we go through. Young ladies, whether that's going to come in second here is one that we really like in terms of just his extension. He's wanting to give her some fits out here and do, but she's getting a nice job and you can get a good handle on him. One that comes at us just a little too narrow in terms of the ground compared to our class winner to move any higher. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations.
We're now ready for class 3. These goats weigh 56 pounds each. Congratulations to our class 2 winner, Michael Allen, and second place to Hayden Winchell. Now have Charlotte Osborne and Sarah Rose in the ring. Next we'll have class 4.
I think probably the closest placing that we've had thus far in terms of our market show. I think for me, we put together the weather here as he sets him into motion and then also gets him on the stance. And I think he's just a combination in terms of kind of what we're looking for. We get our hands over him and he's fresher in terms of his handle right over his rack today. I prefer his angle and how he's laid back in terms of his shoulder blade there and the point of his shoulder as you set him on the profile. One that gets a little leveler from hooves to pins compared to the doe that goes in second. Doe that's in second, I really prefer her center body width. I think she's got a lot more in terms of lower portion to that body, more volume there in her upper rib cage as well, and I really like that about her. For me, she gets a little deeper in terms of her neck set, wants to get a little coarser in terms of her point of her shoulder there, when we just like to level up out of her tail head in terms of the weather that runs one. Let's give these young ladies a round of applause. Congratulations.
We have class 4 coming in green. These girls weigh 58, 58, and 59 pounds. We have Penny Corner, Logan Alexander, and Nadia Horner. Congratulations to our class 3 winners, Charlotte Osborne, and second place to Sarah Brothers.
transitions into his loin and his loin edge is the fullest and the widest right when you get over top of him and get that handle on him. He's really fresh as they should be in terms of this stage in this game. Maybe where we change him is just stouting him up in terms of his footwork comparison to that leather that goes two right behind him. But I really like the extension that this guy has. I really like when we set him into motion. He kind of puts all those pieces together really effortlessly. gives you a cool look. Young ladies, painted up leather here, man. This is one too, super fresh. I really like in terms of his loin edge. For me, he gets a little shorter couple in terms of the one that goes right there above you today. He gets a little deeper in terms of his chest floor compared to the one that goes right ahead of you. But I like this power and dimension when you set him right at the ground. I prefer his foot and bone size compared to the one that goes right above him. But for me, I just want to lengthen him out ever so slightly. I also like to fill him in at the back edge of his rack as he transitions into his loin. Then maybe we shift him on up. Young lady does a nice job of getting him shown. He'll be really cool to see later on as well. Congratulations. The one that goes in 3, in terms of just body build and style, very comparable to our one that goes there in first. I like his extension, the way he sets his neck out of his blade there as he transitions down to the point of his shoulder. For me though, when you get his hands on him compared to the 2 right above him, wants to narrow up there in his rack to his loin, doesn't have quite the width and dimension in that lower part of his stifle when you set him from behind. But I really like the angulations, the extension that this guy has. He'll be another fun one to feed out for this young lady. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our Class 4 winner, Haley Porter. Second place, Haley Porter, and third place, Logan Alexander. Then at Class 5 in the ring, these girls are weighing between 67 and 73 pounds. Yeah. Actually, we have to. She can remember the youth and her roots. She currently teaches agriculture at Martin High School in Kentucky. She enjoys exhibiting livestock with her daughters, Tatum and Henry, and her husband, Al. Let's give her a great big round of applause for her judging our show tonight.
this young lady. I think the decision gets a little closer in this class for me in 3 and 4. And I think when you get your hands on them, for me, the young lady ends up third here with the more traditional weather you got to go with. He's one that when you get your hands on him has a deeper loin there right over his back. One that I think when you set him in motion tracks away too with more true base width compared to the weather that's going to round out the class. One that I would, just like the second place, strengthening up there behind his shoulders ever so slightly, leveling up there in his tailhead step. The other lady that rounds out the class here with this weather, really latch on to him in terms of his length, the design, and his style. I really like that about this goat. He's really tall fronted, comes out of his neck, catches your eye from that standpoint. For me, he just gets a little too narrow off both ends to place any higher in the class with the 3 right above him, but does an excellent job of getting that guy shown and showing off that extension. Let's give them all a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our class 5 Market Goat Show with Katie Horn first, Caitlin Ostos second, Kayla Chambers third, and Katie Lawson fourth. We're ready for class 6. We have 3 entries: Katie Horn, Charlotte Bishop, and Erica Wheeler.
But man, he has got a lot of power, and me too, when you get your hands right over his rack, down over his loin edge, and through that stifle, really fresh even in terms with that. We can change him. I would like to elevate him there at the top of his shoulder, and he gets a little lower chested compared to that one that goes into. But I think in terms of proportions, when you set him on the profile, and like I said, distinction for me. He ran into two that have just got more meat and muscle in them today. When you get your hands right on them and when you set them down through that inside lower portion of the leg, you did an awesome job of getting him shown. Really nice class of heavyweights. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations.
And congratulations to our Class 6 winner, Danica Weaver. Second place to Haley Corner, and third to Charlotte Bishop. Next we have Class 7 coming into the ring. Scope weight 119. Shown by Hayden Winchell. Okay, now we're ready for our championship drive. The judge would like all first place to come into the ring and seconds be on standby. Okay, Class 1, we have Hayden Warner. Class 2, we have Piper Allen. Class 3, we have Charlotte Osborne. Class 4, we have Haley Warner. Class 5, we have Haley Warner. In Class 6, we have Danica Weaver. For those sitting and standing around the ring, our judge is getting ready to get our grand champion market goat.
Let's give all of our exhibitors a round of applause out here. I know it's a hot day and school's starting back. We're right there with you, and I know to get out here and get the goat shown and keep the kids going. Plus the goats can get hard, and so I think they've all done an exceptional job out here. I think you all should really be tickled to death in terms of just their showmanship abilities through all the age levels that we saw earlier. And then when we get your weathers out here, I think there's some really good all the way through. I think in terms of be sure and tell everybody thank you that they get you to this point, because it takes a lot. I understand completely. And just tickled to be able to be here and judge with you guys tonight, because you can tell that it means something to the kids and the families, and that's the most important at the end of the day. So let's give these exhibitors another round of applause. All right, Jay, the two that I like. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our champion, Mark Nico, Haley Corner, turned 69-pound Mark Nico. And our reserve goes to Piper Allen, with her 55-pound Mark Nico. We're going to take a 5-minute break for pictures to give people time to get their notes up here. And we'll start right back in with our notes on replacement nose up. Okay, guys, we're going to start our replacement dough kid show. And Haley Williamson with 0108. Big replacement goes weighed between 52 and 56 pounds.
it's just in terms of growth rate and frame size. And I like that and prefer that about her. For me, though, we like to just level it from hooks to hand. She gets a little steeper when we study from that aspect compared to the two that are right above her. But when the lower length and extension, she made a really nice breeding prospect for this young lady down the road as well. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations.
I'd like to know how many of you all out here right now have never been to a hip race before? Raise your hand. Already, quite a few first timers in the audience tonight. So I'm going to start off then by catching all of you rookies up to speed on hip racing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you all know if you were to go to a racetrack like Daytona 500, you would see those drivers race their cars around the track to get to the at the Port Trump Downs International Circuit. These are the guys, they're racing for the money. They cruise around this track at blazing speeds for an Oreo. That's right, they're meeting right over here at the finish line on this silver car. There's a delicious, delectable Oreo cookie waiting to be devoured by the fastest swine with the winning time. But as tradition goes here at the pork chop, I'm going to need everybody's help. Now look all the pigs out of the trailer and to their starting gates, and I give you all your cue. And you get
It's a single entry here, kind of our medium weight range, and to the most in terms of her capacity and power that she has. So that's in her portion of the rim. We can change her, maybe we'd like to extend her out from hooks to hands a little bit. That would help elevate her, maybe more coordinator over her top line. What do you get your hands on? Let's have a lot of power and dimension. We'll see her back in your champion drive. Let's give her a round of applause. Congratulations.
And so anybody who goes with that race goes to Sweeties and of course from the six-pack of Oreo.
Now we're ready for our demo key class.
Yeah. Yes, and you can try to section 2, the white dark blue spikes in section 3, number 3, and section 4, down here in the red line stripes with number 10 on the right. Now, going on the bench, you guys can two steps back for me, please, or the big track experience. Here we go, introducing to you the starting lineup of racers, section 1, racing for y'all. Out of lane number 1 in the blue, put your hands together for Kevin Bacon. Sounding good. Section 2, racing for y'all. Out of lane 2 in the red, from America's Got Talent, please welcome Simon Sowell. Section 3, racing for y'all. Out of lane 3 in the yellow, he's the cutest racer we have. Give it up for Brad Big. And section 4, racing for y'all. Out of lane 4 in the green, he's Super Bowls now. Give it up for Patrick McManus. Sounding good. Section 4. Now for y'all here, the fastest racer. So you guys.
Divisions that are here as we start with our air nose, and I think for me, Williamson ladies there out of that first class is one that's just got a lot of pieces that are really intriguing and put together really nice. Look at that second place that we have on that particular class. She's going to be your racer. Let's give the ladies a round of applause. Congratulations.
Good job turning on that little Brad Pitt. Those tearing up the tracks tonight. You are taking up some cookies and pick those. Let's give this girl a big round of applause. Thank you. Hey guys, we're going to take time out from racing for a moment so I can introduce you to the star of the show. Now in just a few weeks, we're going to be heading out for Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where Will Swiftly, the swimming bib, will be on the Guinness Book of Records preliminary timing. Now what the Guinness Book there is a record. Counting for a 12-week-old bib, swimming across an 8-foot tank. And little Swifties are not even very curious to this record. Now she's just a little pot-belly bib, but she sure can wander across the water. And she's been working on her dive this week, so I need y'all's help. And she just even hop in, self-rap by saying, go, Swift, go. Go, Swift, go. Go, Swift, go. Go, Swift, go. Yeah! Good job, little Swifty. You're the biggie battle. That was an amazing little dive. Let's give it up for Swifty. More Swifty. one of our windows if you want to take one with you tonight. We'll be selling them for $2 after the show.
Single entry out here, ladies, did a really nice job with this rondo. One that when we talk about this angulation and even femininity and structural correctness, you really like this though when you stay around the ground and up in that front one there. Super elegant, long side. We'll see her back in your vision drive as well. Let's give a chin lady a round of applause. Congratulations.
Somebody needs some more cheerleaders from the audience. Section 1. Who wants to try number 1 over here? Can I see some hands up? Okay, on your shoulders. Yep, that little girl over your shoulders. Good job. Number 1, section 2. Now show number 2. Okay, we're going to like move out with the A on it. Feature number 2. Section 3. Alright, hold up the little one in the striped shirt. Y'all feature number 3. Section 4. We're going something down in the overall space and you can show. Alright, so now we'll call your next set of racing things on out here. What do you say? Siree! Here come these cootie babes ready to shake the bacon down the back stretch. Now these racers are also
Another single entry from this young lady, and those very similar just in terms of her femininity and angles. I think this young lady, your hands on her, has got some more right shape and power to her in terms of just having that lower advantage. I think when she gets her set up, you really like the length that he got in the design. Like a really nice 3D piece for this young lady. Let's give her a round of applause. Congratulations.
Section 3 racing for you out of Nate Video. She had a very good movie out a couple years ago. Give it up for Barbecue. And section 4 racing for y'all out of Nate from the Green. She's the diva. Please welcome Kim Kardashian now. Are you guys ready for some more racing here tonight? I said, are you all ready? Alright, race hands.
So congratulations. Junior go, you're ready, flash. And the ring.
Another nice pair of notes out here in this particular class, and I think we laid on one that's just really square to the ground, really square when you study her off both ends. One that when you get your hands on her, it's got a lot of power and dimension. Young lady does a really nice job of getting her set up. I think she does nice in terms of her proportions in comparison to the dove that's going to go to one and again. It's just really square all the way around. Really nice doe breeding prospect there. Young lady said that's going to come in next. I love the capacity and center portions to her rib. She's really got a lot of depth in that lower flank, and I appreciate that about her. For me, she just gets a little piecey when we compare her to the young lady that goes in one. She wants to get a little broken top there, want to strengthen her right there behind her top line, level her up ever so slightly through that tail head. But man, in terms of power through that center portion of her rib, I think there's one that'll make a really nice breeding piece as well. She definitely has the capacity and volume to do that. When she need to tighten her up in terms of her overall package to move me higher. Let's give her a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations, class 3 to Danica Weaver, and second place to Hayden Winter. We have class 4 in the ring, which will be Taylor Osterhoff and Danica Weaver.
proportionality, I think the one that fits the bill there is the young lady that we lead the class off with. Young lady that comes in second here with this predominantly black goat, one that's really sleek in her design. I think she has an advantage in terms of that forehead forward. I prefer the extension there of her neck. I prefer the cleanliness down through her chest and breastplate there. But for me, when we get our hands on her, she wants to narrow up in terms of that female that goes ahead of her. One that I like in terms of her length of style, like we said, but I just need to see a little more of her in terms of when we study her. She tracks about 30 in terms of her base width and right there over her loin juncture. But I think a really unique breeding piece that you can do a lot of cool things with that I'm sure the show lady will take advantage of as well. Let's give both those exhibitors a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations on our class 4 to Danica Weaver. In second place to Kaylin Osterhouse. We have class 5 coming into the ring right now. We have Katie Warner and Piper Allen. On standby, we need all of our first place winners and second place on standby.
Another really nice pair of females here, and kind of what we've talked about our other class winners. I think just in terms of base width and dimension, a three-dimensional look, the young ladies kind of fits the bill for me. I think in terms of that sweep down through the lower portion of her flank, she's one that really proportions out really nice. When you get your hands on her, she's really wide over that rack. Yeah, she carrying a little extra in terms of running over that full rear for sure. But one that I think just in terms of structure and combination fits the bill there for me. The young lady that comes in second here has got a doe that I think has the advantage just in terms of frame when you study her from that aspect. One that's taller shoulder, taller frame. One, for me, she just gets a little too narrow when we study her in terms of her bone work compared to the doe that are ahead of her. A little narrower there for that stifle region from behind. Let's give up for the visitors a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our class 5 winner, Katie Warner, and second place to Piper Allen. We now need all first place goats into our does. Doe yearlings into the ring, please, for our championship drive.
For me, though, that just in terms of overall power, structural integrity, kind of fit the bill for me this evening. We're going to go with the young lady out of that last class to be your champion. Young lady here directly in front of me out of class before will be a reserve. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations. Joe out here, young lady tells me it's around 6 years of age, and someone that's holding her own for sure, just in terms of maintenance and doing what we want them to do after they hit that breeding age. Let's give her a round of applause out here in our age class. Congratulations.
This will be our graduating. Names go. Now we're ready for our registered Go Kid class. 3 to 6 months. Pay the corner and pay the corner.
in terms of octagon when you set her in motion. I think one that comes out is just a little fresher today as well. Young lady still that's going to go into one that I like in terms of just her front 1/3. We've talked about that on some earlier today, and I think she's really feminine, really cool fronted, but for me, she gets a little piecey when we study her in terms of her top line and out through that hip. Not as correct in terms of that hop to ground as she moves about the ring. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Haley Corner, first and second place. And our 3 to 6 month-old Richard kid. Hey. Go. Place in the 9-month class goes to John Rader, and second to Logan Alexander. Now we're ready for our 12 to 16 month, Danica Weaver. Come on in.
Hey, get ready, Rachel. Hurry up, Rachel.
So really elegant, proportional female here that you really like, just in terms of style and balance. One that really puts a lot of good things together when we set her in motion. I think one that hits the ground really true in terms of her stride, really pretty up through that front 1/3, but still has a lot of capacity and dimension to her as well. We'll see it right in your drive. Let's give this young lady a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our 12 to 16 month no yearling. Danica Weaver. We're now looking for Hayden Porter with our 16 to 25. Registered no yearling.
Another really powerful single entry here that you really like this female when she's on the stand. One that's really got a lot of three-dimensional quality. Maybe when you set her into motion, we like to change her off that front 1/3 ever so slightly there as you put her in. But one that I think's got a lot of power, breeding potential as well. Let's give this young lady a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Hayden Porter. Now we will have our champion registered no yearly. Name John Maynard, Danica Weaver, Hayden Porter.
I think we've got three really nice breeding prospects out here for these individuals. I think for me, it's a really easy place to land on the one that we talk about in terms of when we are champion. Young lady's red doe that we talked in class is one that's just so powerful and angle, and I think when you set her out in motion, kind of has the advantage there this evening. I think it could get a little closer when we start to go in for reserve. For me, I think the young lady out of that last class doe just comes at us today with so much power and dimension. She's going to be a reserve. Let's give our exhibitors a round of applause. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Danica Weaver with our champion registered no yearling. We have one registered age doe that will be Miss Hayden Porter, and she will be our champion of that division. champion tonight. We will have a Supreme Champion doe for each division, kid, yearling, and age doe. So we will have 6 goats out here for our Supreme drive.
Kinley brings another age show out here for this tribe, and another really elegant fronted female, one that you really appreciate and that's been in production. Let's give her a round of applause as well. Congratulations.
We need the kid champion of the commercial doe show. We need the yearling champion of the commercial. And we need the age goat out of the commercial show. And I need the registered kid champion. I need the registered yearling champion. And I need the registered age doe champion.
proportionality that we talked about earlier tonight. When you get your hands on them, the